fall under the first-class municipality. Pero, mayors, okay na ako dyan sa third class since I still enjoy the benefits and grants of a third-class municipality. So, okay lang. So, this is one of the inequalities in our town kasi although our town has already become a tourist destination, we're supposed to be rich because our aggregate income from tourism industry ranges from 55 million to 75. Pero our poverty incidence, medyo hindi mo siya ma-equate kasi ang taas pa rin ang poverty incidence namin. It's almost half. In fact, parang masasabi mo na halos kalahati ng population namin are 40s beneficiary. Hindi ko maintindihan. So, before even the tourism industry, the town is already on agriculture, particularly fishing and farming. So, somehow that is the demographics and geographics of Luzon. So, syempre, my personal story cannot be made without me introducing myself. I am po Josephine Alcantara Cruz, and I am married with 3 kids, and I am actually a CPA by profession. And it's nice to see someone another state. So I've worked in this company for 20 years as finance controller. Leslie Corporation, it is a food manufacturing company. And I worked with them as a finance controlling, handle finance, IT, accounting, audit, treasury, credit and collection. And I also do the admin task of their IT department. So at one time, I was also made to handle their training and payroll. So, ganun naman po talaga sa corporate setup, di ba? I mean, multitasking talaga. So, nakita niya kanina, now, by being a CPA, I also am a politician by accident. Post ko muna for a while, konting kwento. Yung politician ko talaga was my father. He was a town mayor for nearly 3 decades until he died 3 weeks before election. Ay, talaga. Soulmate ko yata si Mayor. Sayang, hindi kita nakasama doon. Sana ikaw nandito ngayon. He died 3 weeks before election, so my family and his political party literally forced me to replace him. The deal then was, now I can speak about it openly, the deal then was, I will just finish the race, tapusin ko lang yung election. So the whole family members even said, pumayag ka na, hindi ka naman mananalo eh. So, ano ba? Parang, inilaro talaga pag mamanalo ka. Kasi po, I only spent my elementary years in Luzon. All others after that, high school, college, I was already in another city, 5 hours away from our town. Then from there, nandito na po ako sa Manila to work. And hindi talaga ako kilala doon. So that was the downside of everything. Sabihin pa, I don't like politics. And so I really shy away from politics kahit mayor yung papa ko. Personal reasons, hindi ko na kailangan mag-video kasi mahaba. Baka ma-time out ulit ako ni Dr. yun. Pero ganun pa man, I think yung bangungot came the after election when I won. It was a real bangungot because my employer didn't even know that I ran. I just filed a leave because my father died. So 2 hours after I was declared winner, my VP, our VP for HR was texting me, please report to office tomorrow at 3 p.m. The president wanted to talk with you. So I have to fly and run back to Manila to report to my employer. But they understand me. Siguro alam nila wala na sila magagawa. And the deal then was, the final deal was, I have to return to Leslie after my first term. That was before. Now, last September, I told them, I will not return. I'm running for re-election. Masyadong nagustuhan. Ito po, since hindi ko alam masyado, wala talaga akong alam, wala rin magtuturo sa akin. And kung may kilala man ako sa Luzon, hindi ko sila talagang kilala. So I have to help myself find workshops, trainings online. Kahit mga kaibigan ko, kasi wala naman akong kaibigan na politiko. So I have to browse through the internet and come up with this program and enroll myself to it. This is somehow the coverage of my preparation was. This is a Prepare You program that was conducted by UP Development and CPAC. I don't know if I have some classmates here kasi ang dami doon taga Central Luzon. Somehow this gives me a first glimpse of what my work is. So, after that, I have to go pack my bags and go back to Luzon with only 3.5 things with me. Myself, my principles and values, my common sense, and that half the learnings that I got from NCPAC. Yun lang yung baon ko. So when I get back, of course, maybe everyone had experienced it too, that the first activity that we had as newly elected, some before the oath taking, the others were after the oath taking. During the turnovers that the DILG conducted, I was introduced to the real scores, my baseline. Di ba nag-turnover yung mga department heads, ito yung score mas ganito. I think that covers the LGPM scores of DILG. And it really pains me to see that in all those scores, the social governance was really at its worst. I think in the last 4 years, yung 2013, nung nag-turnover sila, it was at its worst kasi mababa na siya, tuloy-tuloy pa siyang bumaba. So, hindi ko alam kung paano gagawin sa kanya. Considering that all the scores, sabi ko, ano pa yung malnutrition prevalence na yan? MMR, at kung ano-ano pang R. Considering that it took me, I believe, 3 months before I even pronounced NDRRMC na hindi ako napupulol. So sabi ko, ano to? So, but somehow, my baselines during the time had guided me through on prioritizing my executive agenda. This executive agenda, if there is one thing that I really learned from the Prepare You program, it was to craft the executive agenda. Naalala ko pa doon, the first step was for you to write down all the things that you wanted to do habang mayor ka. Yun ang ginawa ko, ang dami-dami kong sinulat. I think I consumed like a 1.5 yellow page, tapos sabi nung facilitator, Mayor, 3 years lang po yung term mo. Okay, so I have to redo everything kasi hindi, sabi niya 3.5 years. So it looks like, sa dami kong gustong gawin, parang kailangan ko pa yata ng another 3 terms. So, for me po, parang mas lalo siyang, dahil marami pa rin akong gustong gawin, what I did is to classify them and use some acronyms to cover my agenda for easy recall and for me to guide me as well. So I use the acronym AGYAD. AGYAD is a local term, local dialect for challenges. So I use that as an acronym for my executive agenda, since most of those things that I wanted to do are really naman challenges for me. So A is for agrikultura, which is yung main livelihood naman ng town namin. G is for good governance. And this picture here, this is actually the picture of our Ulat sa Bayan, the first Ulat sa Bayan that they ever had. I remember when I was doing like a bandila, we will have Ulat sa Bayan on this date and time, sabi nung mga sa palengke, kasi I posted the invitation in conspicuous places, sabi nila, ano yan? So hindi nila alam kung ano ulit sa bayan. But after the first ulit sa bayan, now some people were asking, kailan ang sunod? So nagkakaroon na sila na awareness. So I really invoke good governance, like those three elements I wanted to carry from day one to end. And Y is for Yaman. This covers now my economic development projects. A is for anak, or in Bicol, we call it akus. Anak symbolizes, yes, anak, akus, child. This for me symbolizes and covers the social infra that I wanted to put in place. Education, health services, among other things. And of course, the last T for tourism, where we are now well known. Dito po ako nagsimula. I have this already in mind, put in place before I even went home. Pero the baselines that I've shown you earlier somehow had helped me put timelines on my executive agenda. That because we failed, or because of our very low score on social governance, kaya po yung first year ko, at least the first 12 months, I focused on ACAS, which is the social services. So yung next, I think during the time, July, the invitation from Zurich Pharma for us to join the selection workshop last, I think, third week of July of 2013 came as a big welcome for me, because I know this is one of those who can help me jumpstart my social services program. I think in that program in that workshop we were 20 plus, 24 or 26, but only 20 were selected. Naalala ko pa, during the time when my MHO approached me about the program, sabi niya, Mayor, join tayo sa MLGP. Sabi ko, ano makukuha ko dyan? Sabi niya, kasi yung mga nag-join dyan, binibigyan ng health center tsaka health station. Talaga, sige, join tayo. Go. That was my reason for joining MLGP. Kasi may makukuha ko. Napakabago. But that's how I started. I'm just being honest. Hindi ko alam. Ngayon wala pa rin akong health center, so hindi yata totoo. Tama si sir. Sorry. Pero that's how I started. So since I was already part of those selected, syempre, the next task was for the DOREP and the MHO to orient me with my roadmap. My first glance on my roadmap, my God, sabi ko, very colorful. I have 20 red, 17 yellow, and 13 green. Sabi ko, anong gustong sabihin yan? Kasi sabi niya, Mayor, we have several concerns. There are only so much problem on environment sanitation. Only so much percentage have access to safe water. Only so much percentage has access to communal toilets, etc. Our town is also number 1 in malnutrition province-wide. Pero palagi kaming 2 taon na. Hindi ko alam din kung bakit. So we also have sleeping ordinances, proposed ordinances, sleeping in SB. Kasi yung iba, ayaw kasi baka matalo sila sunod na election. So we have revenue codes that have been sleeping there for years. We have our mansion, users fee, and other health ordinances that are still with them. So that's our problem also. Functional Health Board. Our local health board, they only meet once a year. If not, wala pa. So, GIDA, as I mentioned a while ago, 17, which is around 31% of our barangays, are in really isolated and disadvantaged areas. So, ang hirap-hirap po kung paano sila abutin. And of course, the last was yung local health system. If I have 51 barangays, believe me, only 12 of them have health budgets. The others, none. The 300 honorarium sa BHW, pinag-aawayan pa nila kung ibibigay sa BHW or sa tanod na lang. That worst. That worst. So, the MLG program will start with that one-day trip in DAP last September 2013. Team, allow me to show this. Ha? This is, anyway, my personal story. It was a brain-draining session for us. This one, si Mayor Ong sumakit yung ulo niya, kaya palagi siyang lumalabas. MLGP 1, Module 1, we were 20 LGUs. Ang dami po namin. It was a continuous DOH, DOREP coaching for us, LCEs. But in every MLGP, there's always the fun factor, hindi siya nawawala. So we were also very busy doing paper notes. May fun factor din po. So huwag kayong mainit. May mga tinatago din po sila for you. And this one, sorry. This is my ever-pusher MHO. He doesn't want to leave the room hanggang hindi po ako natatapos. Kaya MLGP 1, nag-coffee overload din po ako kasi hindi niya ako pinapayagang umalis agad. Yung iba naglalakad-lakad na dyan kaming dalawa nasa room, gumagawa ng seat work. But it was like, if there's one thing that I got from LGP1 aside from the learning, I was able to win several friends. Ang dami ko nakilala. Until now, we're still friends and we still are connected. Kaya after a week, ayan, nag-graduate na kami. Natapos na kami. So, that week, if there's one thing that I really, yung tumatak talaga sa isip ko, is that good health is good politics. It is just like, it sounds like a motto, but the real essence of that is that sinasabi nila doon sa LGP1, I don't know if they will tell you that also, na hanggang may namamatay na nanay, hanggang may namamatay na bata sa iyong komunidad, you will never be able to claim success. You will never be able to claim a good leader. Hanggang may ganon. So, sabi ko, dapat wala na namamatay. Dapat wala na. Pero, pagdating ko dun, ewan ko, parang, ano tawag dito? I think the fate is against me kasi when I get back, my MMR and IMR increased. Sabi ko, ay ano ba to? Parang nananadya. Sabi nila dapat wala na mamatay, then maraming namatay. Pero po, my problem there, after MLGP1 was, ang dami kong learnings, pero pag uwi ko sa Donsol, ang daming problema na parang hindi nagmamatch yung learnings ko doon sa problema ng bayan ko. So, I took things one at a time. I took things on a daily basis because aside from giving them, applying to them what I know, I have to assess as well their readiness on those that I wanted done in our place. So I was doing very slowly. But in every opportunity that I have, meeting, these interactions, formal and informal, I would inject in my MLGP learnings, the bridging leadership. Pero that took me very slow kasi hindi pa sila handa. By this time, we were already, this was like 6 months after. So yung approach na yon na informal at paisa-isa, hindi ko siya masyadong nakita na nagbago yung roadmap ko. There were greens, there were reds and yellows na nag-green, but it wasn't much. By this time, we were already preparing for Module 2. So we have to go back to that and do our Module 2. Dito po, kung MLGP 1, we were 20. Pagdating po ng MLGP 2, 10 na lang po kami. Yeah, kayo, baka next time, 5 na lang. Hala. Hindi po namin inalam kung ano nangyari dun sa iba namin kasama. Pero kalahati na lang po bumalik. Pero, as one of those who returned, I find it actually maganda. Because the discussions then, for me, was more intimate the facilitators were able to address all our questions more personal. At least for me. So, nagpapasalamat ako dun sa hindi dumating. Kasi, mas maganda yung aming module 2. Pero hindi ko po alam kung anong dahilan. Iba-iba naman po yung dahilan. Pero ako, I appreciate that I returned. Actually, the module 2, maybe I was more familiar. I was more familiar of what my town needs. Kaya po, dito sa module 2, during the discussion, I can actually participate more. I can actually give more in terms of inputs because mas marami na akong baon, hindi katulad last time. So ito po, dyan pa rin yung FH kong makulit. Yan, we were very serious. Ito yung fan factor, ginawa kaming post-it board. Then, in that module 2, we were 10, and Luzon is one of those top 3 LGUs who got the most stars. 10 stars. Kung paano, secret. So, dapat bumalik po kayo sa module 2 para alam niyo kung paano nangyari.
Kaya sinabi na namin, hindi na namin sinabay yung 20.
Opo. So, yan. This shows off the different phases of Module 2. Anxiety, happiness, worries, and all. Ang dami na namang acronyms, pero yung iba, memorize ko na. But there are those still new, but we were happy. Ayan, 10 na lang po kami nag-graduate. So, eto po, ano nangyari pagbalik ko doon? So this time, I'm more alert, so I'm more involved. I was working like a mad dog now. So dati, after MLGP 1, my approach was parang day-to-day, although I was injecting MLGP on my day-to-day work. But when I get back, I did a different approach. I did by sector this time. Shouting my advocacy on a per sector, from kids to youth, to women, men, senior citizen, PWDs, and yes, pati ito sinali ko na sila. Yeah. Opo ma'am, lahat sila. It covers like in every time, in every occasions that I will be with them, I would always include my advocacies. Health is one of them. MLGP is one of them. So every day, every in and out, programs in and out. Huh? Yeah. The more that you have to take the effort. Hindi pa ako manangampanya. So, pero I started like injecting the MLG, the bridging leadership informally. Like I would ride onto their activity. Parehas sa mga kababaihan. When we celebrated their Women's Month celebration, I would incorporate already empowerment programs and so on and so forth, and every time. So this year actually, ang maganda doon is the response. Nakakapagod po talaga kasi may timing issue pa. Pero ang magandang nakita ko po is the responding positively. Like this year, in our preparation for next month, 2 weeks ago, I called for a God Council meeting to prepare for the Women's Month celebration next month. Day before the meeting, a representative from AirPads, yung men's, a representative from LGBT, and a representative from women came to see me at the office requesting na, can we join the meeting? Sabi ko, sige, join us. So makikita mo, very slowly they're responding positively because they wanted to join other programs. So ganun po yung approach ko. And dahil po sa atin, ang dami rin natin limitation, lalo na sa resources. Mayor kanina was mentioning about some rulings, guidelines of some NGAs. So I have to work outside and make real networkings. So I have to tap the UAs, well of course DOP and ZFF for this program. We also do Jollibee, yung BLT nila. ECCD for the childcare programs, and all the others that I can think of. The public-private partners, NJs, NGOs, barangay, our district hospital. Sorry. Our district hospital, other LGUs, my interlocal health zone, and other stakeholders. I allowed them to be part of my programs. Ngayon po, if I have to describe our roads, especially our health roadmap, dati ganito po siya. Ganito na siya ngayon. Lubak-lubak pa rin. Pero at least medyo nadadaanan ng konting mabilis at may konting guhit na siya sa gitna. Some rules, some policies. Opo. Opo. Then, I also activated and make functional my other councils like the Drug Abuse Council, the Local Health Board, the Nutrition Council, and the Local AIDS Council. These are support programs, councils that supports me in my present advocacies. So all of them are really all geared towards better health outcomes, equitable health services, and sana a responsive health system. After that, after Module 2, sabay-sabay ko rin po siya. Hindi rin ako tumigil na ipagpatuloy yung advokasya ko using both direct and indirect approach. So pati every time nakikipag-chismisan lang ako sa tabing kalsada, but I would include pa rin yung mga ginagawa ko just for them to be aware of them. And I would also personally assess facilities in barangays. So it's been like a policy for me to visit barangays, not during fiestas, but usually I would go during Monday to Friday, wherein I can talk and see and visit barangay facilities like health centers, daycare centers. I could also visit the school and see the schools, not just see the schools, but also talk to the kids and the teachers. So yan na po yung naging practice ko. And it had helped me a lot in putting in yung infra, not only the social infra, which is the root cause of everything, but pati na rin po doon sa physical infra, ito na rin po yung naging guide ko. I was telling them, there are, let's say, if I have 51 barangays, only 26 of them have health centers. And dito po sa kalahati na meron, 10% of them are not functional. So, may imagine mo, yung ibang health center nila, may nakatira na barangay official, yung iba, bodega, may laman bigas, palay, and everything else. So, pa isa-isa, I would haggle with them, you know, yes, you need health center, but maybe we can do things first. Like, fix those present, make them functional, before we even decide to give you more. Parang ganun na po yung naging approach ko ngayon. And I think it helped a lot because in a way, natututo na rin po yung mga iba pang barangay captains. Maybe they have heard it on the side na, kung hihingi ka kasi kay Mayor, pupunta siya sa'yo. Kaya dapat kung hihingi ka, naka-ready ka na. Parang ganun na. So, mas natutuwa rin ako kasi mas nagkaroon sila ng sense of ownership doon sa ginagawa nila. Hindi na lang sila tipong humihingi because of politics. Like, hingi ako kasi ganito, ganyan. Hingi ako kasi ganito, ganyan. Ngayon, humihingi na sila kasi kailangan nila. So, I think that is one of those indirectly, somehow, nahawa ko sila pagdating doon sa MLGP. Kasi they are also thinking not only of themselves, but of the others now. Hindi rin po ako tumigil, like I continue to do capacity building trainings for them. And this one, I also do immersion programs on the side, not only of my health team, but including my department heads. I would visit barangay with them, so for them to see what the real problem is. This third picture, this was taken when we went to 3 Gida Barangay. Kasi po malayo siya, so we have to bring food. Ito po, nasa gitna siya ng kawalan. Hindi ko alam kung saan parte. But we would only bring food and eat our lunch kung saan kami abutin ng lunch. And really so that we can reach them and be with them and see what their problems are. Sabi ko po sa inyo kanina, I really did aggressive networking. So, ito po, this is, hindi ko po sure kung sa Central Luzon may programa ang Intervida. Now, Educo. They have. Intervida has been our partner in education programs. But this year, because of my problem in malnutrition, they're helping me out with my nutrition programs this 2015. Ito po, the second picture, this is one of the non-traditional, unconventional method that I use in my advocacy meetings. This is Binibining Supranational 2013 event Santiago. Kids and the youth, they love personalities. So I have to invite personalities to join me and in my advocacy meetings with this group. Siya yan. Very, very cooperative naman po siya. And I find it very effective. Ito po, this is a political picture. Kami ni Junjun Pinay. Hindi po kami magpakapartido, hindi rin po kami magtatakong kasama. Dunsol has a twinning agreement with Makati. And, yes, sister city. So, because of this networking, linkages, Dunsol got to enjoy the privilege of a Makati resident, especially in terms of medical and educational. So, please consider that. I was able to send a patient, terminally ill patient to OSMA, wherein nagbayad lang sila 150 for the card. But in some hospitals, they have already spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So this one of those I really show off kasi isa yan sa nakatulong sa akin sa better health outcomes ko. And the last, pati yung mga party list, etc., pinatulan ko na rin po sila. Nanghi ako ng gamot, nanghi ako ng scholar, nanghi ako ng health station kasi hindi ako ba nabibigyan ng Zoylig. And binigyan po nila ako. They started giving me medicines. This year they're giving me school and next year they pledged to give me one health center. Ayan. So yung mga party list sa inyo, pwede nyo rin sila kapitan. And on the side, hindi po ako masyadong busy. Marami pa po akong health support programs for my whole roadmap. Ang nangyari po kasi, I was addressing the problem. Now, parang 360 degrees na po yung approach ko. Kasi sabay-sabay naman sila. And I think that would be a big help. So I already had, this one is a grant from ECCD, a National Child Development Center, who is helping me with the early child care program testing. So this one naman po, I was able to finish the establishment of a tertiary education, a community college for Dunsol, because I believe the more they learn, the more they're educated, the less they will be poor, the less they will be malnourished. So ito po, it will be operational this June 2015. And dito po, during our first year also, we're able to craft and now approve the Children's Code of Luzon, wherein this covers child protection, rights, and all. So at least may legal basis na yung mga bata. At lahat-lahat na doon sa pagpapatupad ng ipapang palisiya. And the last, I would call this the last concrete program, support program that I did. But this one, I have empowered also. Hindi lang sa labas yung in-empower ko, but I also spent time, resources, empowering my staff. This is our team building. Hindi ko po alam kung ano yung kultura at ano yung itsura ng workplace sa bawat munisipyo ninyo. But when I went down to Dunsol, yung sa munisipyo po, sabi nila parehas lang doon sa iba, but sa munisipyo, medyo, alam mo po yung kultura ng kanya-kanya, away-away, every time. So what I did, sabi ko, what I did is to come up with some activities that we can do together. I started doing Employees Olympics for the employees. Alam niyo po nangyari din sa Employees Olympics namin, from the time we formed the teams till the end, palagi sila nag-aaway. every time may umiiyak, sinasabi, Mayor, ayaw na namin, tigilan na natin to kasi ganyan-ganyan. Sabi ko, no, we have to continue. At the back of my mind, I was telling myself, if we can play together, how can we work together? So I have to continue. Parada na lang na parada, opening parade, pati yung sequence, like, sino yung team na susunod doon sa banda, pinag-aawayan nila yan. Grabe. Grabe. But I didn't give up on them. But the best part was, it was a surprise to me that during the awarding, we have 4 teams, like, I gave them cash awards, like 20, 15, 10, and 5. I was so surprised that during the awarding ceremony, at the end, they decided to pull their cash prize together and do a one big salo-salo together. So nagkasundo rin sila. Pagkatapos nila makuha yung pera. So for me, sabi ko, wow, this is already an opportunity for me na masundan. So I come up with a growing up activity for them. This is actually a team building that I had with them, but I call it growing up together. But we ended up gearing up together. It was very effective because after that event, we are more like better relationship. So I was able to steer the wheel much faster, fluid this time. I can already take my team from point A to B to Z and back. Kaya ko siya sinama, one of the concrete support programs that I was able to do last year. So, how does my scorecard look now? Ganito na po siya. We have like, malnutrition nandiyan pa rin. Kasi hindi pa po ako tapos. Biglang ganun. But the access to safe water and toilets and all, they have improved a lot. Ito po sa MMR, good lang po siya. Kasi we're supposed to have 0. Ayan, hindi ko po alam kung ano nangyari. Ito po yung kinikwento ko sa inyo nung after ng MLGP ko, pagbalik ko may namatay. Kung ano nangyari, walis lang tayo 1 week, may namatay na. Then the IMR, yes, it is already like very good because it was already below our target. FIC, we got 83, it's good enough. There was an explanation for this low score. I think there was an out of stock of Hep B vaccine or something. So for HBD, our target is 85, we made 85. So gumanda na po siya, pero hindi pa rin tapos. Because the road to success is continued to be uphill and winding. Pero ang kagandahan po dito is my scorecard from 20 reds, now it's 8. From 17 yellow, it's 18, and from 13 green, now it's 26. So, nakagraduate po ako. Nakasama po ako sa graduation dahil dun. We had graduated last first week of last January. So ngayon po, after graduation, what now? Did I stop? I have to continue. Kasi marami pa pong bata. This is Emery, a 7-year-old girl with stage 4 leukemia. Right now, the LGU is financing, supporting her chemotherapy. There is still Diana in my town. Diana is a 4-year-old girl, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Hindi ko alam yung medical term doon, may bukod siya dito. This kid is from one of the GDA. And the first time that she was diagnosed, it was already stage 4. And she died last Christmas Eve. She tore my heart. This girl is Rebecca. This is an abandoned baby. Iniwan siya sa bahay, 15 hours old. Now, she's still nasa bahay pa rin siya. Kasi for 3 times, kinukuha siya ng DSWD. And in those 3 times, she would get sick. So I would say, iwan mo muna. Ngayon, 1-year-old na siya. She is a result of teenage pregnancy. Mother is 16, father is 19. And before this, baby Rebecca even turned 1-year-old, the mother again gave birth to another baby from another man. And the father again sired another woman. So before Rebecca even turned 1, she has 2 siblings, right and left. So there is another 10% that I have to address that needs access to safe water. Then of course, my malnourished children because napakataas pa rin ang prevalence rate ko. And severely wasted and stunted school children. Marami po sila. Some of them are reflected on my scorecards, the others are not. So, I said, life must go on. I cannot think things like sitting down, even after I graduated from MLGP. MLGP, if there's one thing that really armed me with what I have now, it is MLGP. So it's really one of those I really appreciate very much. Now, as mayor, these things, day-to-day, health problems have already become my life. Naging buhay ko na siya. And if it turned to be my life, it now becomes also my happiness. So, last year, I posted in my FB account, what had 2013 had taught me? Marami siya, but I love number 10. Sabi ko doon, why look for happiness when you can create it? I just did. Last year, I had somehow continued to have this list. What 2014 had taught me naman. I got 12, and one of them is, I am poor, but I'm happy. Nadrama. Okay. I am poor, but I'm happy. If I have to compare my life to what I used to have, I am really poor by choice, but I'm very happy. Because as I was given the opportunity to change the lives of people, indirectly, it is also changing myself. Kaya po maraming malaking bagay yung nangyari sa akin. That was the main reason why last September, when I get back to my president, the president of Leslie Corporation, I told the president, "Sir, I'm not returning after my term. I'm running for re-election." So sabi niya, "Okay, sige, I will support you na." Ngayon po, for the mayors and MHOs, our lives every day, they're full of challenges, truckloads of issues and concerns, full plates of whatever. Ang dami-daming problema, dami-daming kailangan gawin, but let us not forget to smile. Because life is short. And at the end of the day, let's say a little prayer of gratitude, and don't forget to take that siling labuyo flavored ice cream to cool you down and make your day. Maraming po salamat.
Mayor, how do you deal with the alleged overexposure of tourists, local and foreign tourists going to Luzon, dealing with the landing as complained by animal rights advocates?
I wanted to answer it in 2 parts. One is, when I arrived kasi, I think the worst year that they encountered in tourism industry in Luzon was year 2012. where they experience a decline in sightings. So, hindi nila mag-cater yung influx ng tourists versus yung sightings. Because we have some house rules like dapat for every boat, the boat can only carry like 6 tourists. And in one sighting, only one boat can go down every time. So, dumami yung turista, pero isa, dalawa lang yung butanding. So, what happened is nag-cramp sila. Nagkagulo doon sa sightings. So, it was like an uncontrolled incident. Yun yung nasa dyaryo. That was 2012. 2013 and 2014, the sightings got better, more normal, more regular. Ngayon, we are averaging like 4-5 sightings in a day, starting November. So now, actually sir, that incidents, Luzon being a tourist destination, yung nangyari pala ng 2010, kaya sinabi ko, I will answer it in 2 parts, kasi yung incident ng 2012, wala pa ako doon. I can only base my answer on what I've heard and kwento-kwento. Pero, that triggers me, na nung umupo ako, kanina, I think I mentioned like, in my year 1, ang inuna ko talaga was social infra, which is part and parcel of the health services and education and tourism. Inayos ko po yung sistema sa loob. Because LGU does the operation side. But both operators and BIO, these are run by individual, separate organization. So I have to tighten the rules. We have to amend existing tourism codes, tourism ordinance, to cover yung nangyaring kaguluhan para hindi na maulit-ulit. That is one. Number 2, us being a tourist destination, that is one of the inspiration why I have to do the children's code. Because remember, in every tourist destination, I think there's one sector that is really vulnerable to tourists are the children. We don't want to have, wala pa naman reported incident about yung mga pedophiles and all, but we already, child rape or but we're taking like 2 steps forward para mas ready kami. Ordinance and all, legal basis and all, naka-ready na po siya. So, sa ngayon po, I would like to invite everyone to come to our place. Mahirap sir mag-explain, but I wanted you to see what goes on now. So it's a different story. I really wanted to invite everyone, and if you coordinated with me, I'll give you discounts. MLGP discounts, just for these participants. We have resorts, but if, Mayor, if you're looking for a 5-star, wala pa po. Wala pa nga po silang star. But I can assure you that Luzon kasi, wala pa pong star, pero may butan din kami. Wala po backpackers resorts. Luzon kasi is generally peaceful. We have firefly watching. Our beaches is not as like Boracay or what. But yun po, kanina kasi pinakita ko yung mga linkages ko, yung mga partners ko, all the social services. I also have po linkages partners with on tourism. Ito po, our beaches kasi is like the normal beaches that you can see. Pero we have a neighbor, LGU, was one of the best beaches there is. So, may mga tandems po kami. Pilar, ano. They have sunrise.